How's it going? Today is 23rd of January, Tuesday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities are available up there. Let's do things perhaps slightly different, just so it would be kind of routine. So we're still tackling some of the issues, and perhaps I can bring more understanding in, or share some more examples of how to do it, right? You not necessarily need to do it with myself. You can reach out to these organizations and do it for yourself. Just if anything, just be very professional, please. Don't want to get in trouble of recommending these people because these people are professionals and within the industry for many, many years. So if you were to approach any of these people and ask for assistance, it'd be very serious, right? So once that been said, that's very, very, very important, right? So it's these people, even though I'm approaching some of these people, they are saying, I don't know, I don't know. But if you were to build a financial project or products or services within the UK, there's something that's called Finance Conduct Authority within the UK, and we're gonna be taking a look at how to do it, right? So for those of you who are interested in offering some of the services or different products within the UK, that's a good organization to go to. And it's something that myself I have spent a lot of time doing research and trying to understand how to do it. I have done it, so I do understand it, right? And perhaps I can bring within a matter of minutes, right? I'll try to share as much information as I can, but either way, so do your own research, right? Let's touch on that before entering or signing any agreements and how to proceed, right? So I had a meeting recently where we discussed the process, and I have received an email with a full breakdown of potentially how to do it. But the process itself can be very complex. Let's delve a little bit deeper into this email and try to understand how others can engage with Financial Conduct Authority when it comes to building some of the projects. I spoke with the person, right, point of contact that I had, and as I mentioned, the person has been with the industry over a decade, right, and we have touch on some of the most recent regulations when it comes to trade agreements that have taken place within UK signing with Switzerland. So there might be some opportunities there. So the person that I had a chance to speak to advised me on the process, right? Since the process to find the process of how to do it can be complex, there might be a reason why it's so complex and nobody can find it how to do it. I have reached out to FCA many, many times and they haven't received a response for the proper way of doing it, right? Until I find this way. It's something that's what we call sandboxes. Sandboxes that are potentially where you could potentially test things out, right? So no one would get affected by what you would be doing. So the customers and or your project not necessarily would be affected and how to do it properly, right? So hopefully that's my CEO myself coming into this. I don't want anyone to be affected about it while we developing something new. If that makes sense. I had a meeting, something we have discussed, and there would be a follow up. And on a lot of articles that myself I would need to read before building anything, right? And once I have read it, I need to put together a project and send this project for approval. It can be approval process. It's something I have touched on previously, right? But briefly, I can touch on that. It sometimes can take a team of 3, 5, 6 people, perhaps. It can take up to 3 weeks, I would say tops. I've been told that it can take a month, 6 months, perhaps 9 months, right? So the process itself can be very complex. But I don't know, are there been projects, financial services projects up there? Perhaps there might be some opportunities there that I know of. Not necessarily big, massive projects. Not necessarily there are that many of those. Smaller ones, perhaps more and more of those projects popping up. And how to do it? If you're interested in how to do it, that's how to do it. So if it's something that you're selling interested in, I would be looking for a partner, ideally, because otherwise I might get stuck in the details and how to do it, the process itself is written down. Let's take a look at this email, right? So I have been advised to take a look at innovation. Perhaps there's some outline, some information there, as well as regulatory sandboxes. So that's how I'm looking to engage. perhaps it's not necessarily needs to be limited this particular way, but I rather do it so no one would get affected by what we were to do, right? So no one financially be affected, right? Even though there would be track record on who did what, so we can always trace it back. But either way, Sandbox is going to be it's kind of the one I use this word. Playground is a better word, right? When you're testing things out. From there, we're gonna be progressing into better outcomes for consumers, some rules there, as well as custom duty, and as well as authorization processes, right? So perhaps how to guides there, all of those there. I can touch briefly on all of those. Most likely by the end of the day, I need to submit the project. How fast I can read it, how fast I can submit it, and how fast it can be approved. Can it be done within a week? Can it be done within 6 months, a year, or for faster than that? First article. I won't be going too much into detail because it would be perhaps commercially sensitive information. So I'll briefly would touch on those. So I'll be guiding. So next time, if you yourself you're considering building financial project or business, the powers that I would say that's from my personal experience it might be the best way to do it. Perhaps a little more of a lengthy process. Perhaps other ways it might be easier to do, but it might be that's a path where you can reduce your risk, right? And so we take a look at the first article that would be innovation, right? And we take a look at financial conduct authority that would be regulatory sandboxes as well as innovation pathways and digital sandboxes. So there's information or learning materials there of how to do it, right? Myself, I think the process is very, very simple. I think as of recently, I don't think even money is exchanging hands as of now. I think it's just a messages. So how you would send the message from point A to point B or from one party to another. That's it. That's financial transactions. I haven't read it yet. I think the process is very simple. I have spoke with a number of people. Everyone's saying to me the process is very complex. So if they're saying that it's very complex, for sake of argument, I would say it's very simple. Maybe it's very complex. Perhaps there's a lot of things that I haven't thought through, right? And to build it, it can take a lot of time. But I think to start it, it's not necessarily that complex. Regulatory sandboxes allows firms to test innovative propositions in the market with the real consumers. It is open for applications at any point throughout the year. See how to apply. So that's article number 2. During a conference call that we had, I didn't do those 5 points, and I've been told that those 5 points are very, very important. I knew different structure is something that I'm using all the time, as well as I have a course. I can touch on the course, by the way. I have published a course. Within this course, I'm taking a look at very fundamental areas. That would be 12 areas. Just to name a few areas that would be very important out of this course. That would be yourself, how you can approach this course, and I have published this course in different formats, including video format, right? Just name a few areas that would be how to set targets, how to structure your goals, as well as we within the course we're going to be taking a look at the budget, how you potentially can develop your own budget, nice and easy. That's a course that I have developed, right? So that's with the 12 points. And they are all this standards regulation when it comes to financial services. They have outlined 5 eligibility criteria, 5 very similar ones. It's not the same, but very similar ones. That would be in scope, genuine innovation, so perhaps something different. But then you need to do a lot of market research, and that would be gloomy station afterwards. And you would try to reinvent something, right, from the consumer benefit and as well as readiness. So that would be perhaps what they're referring to technology readiness levels, right? Something I have previously mentioned. From level 1, I think it's still all the way to perhaps 9 or so. A need for support, right? So perhaps there are some criteria there, and 5 that was defined by this organization. And during a conference call, if you had a chance, you can say that you know what those 5 are. There's a consumer duty, right? On EU duty sets high and clear standards of consumer protection across financial services and requires firms to put their customers' need first. I will rephrase it, right? So that perhaps with a customer-centric approach, right? So they have rephrased this concept. They have rephrased it, but it's exactly the same thing, customer-centric approach. My way of taking a look at that would be three words. They have used three sentences, so to say. So it's exactly the same thing. The problem are that something would happen and there would new legislations and all laws introduced, and then you need to chase those laws, everything what's happened. So if I would perhaps read it now, I don't know, in a matter of 2 months there might be new ones. So I haven't read it yet, so but that's just an example, right? How to apply for authorization process, that's really just one of the steps, right? So they would define it as being ready, willing, and organized. So that was just an example of how to do it, right? Some of those questions, right? Perhaps new trends, right? So I can see that there's a separate page if you want to register with us as a crypto asset business. Perhaps there might be some opportunities there in the future. I don't know for people who are following something that's happening within Europe and some of the legislations taking effect there. Might be very similar projects, if not right now, to be being built within the UK. That's just an example. Application process, if you need to submit your application on a Connect system. So that's Connect, so I don't know where this information is going to be held in the first place. Connect system, would that be UK's firm or that be a subcontractor firm, perhaps overseas firm that would like to handle all of the information of everything what you're submitting. So be careful up there, since these people might within the contracts will be interested in disclosing all that information and sharing that information not only overseas but with the overseas so to say. So just be careful up there. Since I think this platform is something that I'm taking a look at, that would be hosted by Salesforce, and Salesforce perhaps would be owned not necessarily by UK. I don't know recently, but I think it's not necessarily been perhaps hosted by UK, but all information might be kept overseas, so to say. So there's a lot of issues with how all information that you would be submitting would be treated in the first place. So be careful there. That's a big, I would say. Perhaps others wouldn't care about sensitive information and how information is being shared as of now. That's the first issue, I would say. There's the application fee. I haven't checked it yet. So if there's a need of people taking a look at this project for 3 or 6 months, there's application fee. So I don't know if this is that's a better place to begin. Who's gonna pay for that application fee? So perhaps I need to source that first. And something I was taking a look at. Cornwall is currently offering from 40, I believe, or to up to 200,000 pounds, right? So perhaps they're interested in paying this application fee. I need to reach out and ask the team if they're interested in paying that application fee. Perhaps then I can progress. Until then, if there is a fee, I'm not necessarily interested in doing anything. And we can take it from there for people who are interested. There might be some opportunities there, but just be careful. Perhaps some concerns about how that information is going to be treated. Commercially sensitive information, they're going to be asking for details. Why are you asking for details and later sharing that information with others, potentially your competitors? Let's close on that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.